Torre, who is a big journalist, I think, of our time, decided to write a Substack about Jaguar Wright. And he also did a video that I kind of want to react to. Let's get into this right now. And this is from his Torre Show IG page. Make sure you guys check it out. Let's play this. And y'all, let me know what you guys think in the comments about this whole situation.
Wright is not getting her flowers as a very talented cult leader. Your girl is better at trolling than she ever was at singing. I just did a whole Substack about her, talking about how she's a very talented cult leader, leading her following through Instagram, preaching at them like a fire and brimstone Baptist preacher about the evils of Jay-Z and Beyonce and other black celebrities. Of course, in her stories, she's not just the preacher, she is the savior. She is the one who will save these oppressed young people from these horrible, evil black celebrities.
Now, let me stop right here. I think Torre's into something right here, because when she tells her stories, or at least her allegations, right? She's the only one. There's no receipts. There's nothing. Like, these are patterns of things that people have noticed when people have asked her questions or have asked her to just, pull up whatever the hell she has. She's not able to substantiate or anything, but maybe people like those kinds of storytellers. I have seen this multiple times when it comes to this woman.
Literally, Queen Save-A-Ho rescuing people from the freak-offs, walking them out of these nasty parties.
She said she did. She did say she rescued some folks. That's what she said. I didn't say it. She said it, okay? She got videos. All of this is documented somewhere, and there's pictures, and God knows. But nobody can tell me where to find this stuff. I've asked weeks ago, send me an email of, her actually saving somebody or something. Nothing. Okay.
I wrote about how and why Jaguar's stories work. How part of it is that the Illuminati is like an assumed presence in her stories. Like when you watch a mob movie, they assume you understand the history of the mob. When you listen to Jaguar stories, she assumes that you assume the presence of the Illuminati.
There's a huge assumption in the stories that she tells. Yes, that is true.
She's telling you stories about what the Illuminati does in their playtime.
How would you know unless you were part of it? Just the question.
If you can believe that there's a shadowy group of rich black people who are controlling part of the world, then here comes Jaguar, ready to feed your beliefs with racy fan fiction about what the Illuminati do in their off time.
I wonder how much of this plays into racism, right? And I hate to put it that way, but like, why do we feel that, like Torre said, there's a group of black, rich celebrities? It could be any color, they could be anybody, right? I mean, I find this to be very interesting.
But perhaps more than that, Jaguar helps her fans feel morally superior to rich black celebrities.
Morally superior. I definitely can understand where Torre is going with this one. Like the more the fact that you're able to call them out, right? And you're like, how much do we really know? Like, how much do we really know about the people that she has talked about, other than what's already been put out there? I don't know any of these people personally.
Check my Substack for the whole story. I think Jaguar Wright is not getting her flowers as a very talented cult leader.
A very talented cult leader, y'all. I will say this though, and I'm not trying to send hate to anybody or anything like that. Please know that there's a lot of people that like Jaguar Wright that I like. I do. There's some people that I like that like her. And we don't always have to see each other or sit at the same table or anything. I will still support some folks, but I do feel like people are being taken advantage of. It does look like that to me. And there is this like double standard. I know people are saying that, so and so is racist and then they're doing X, Y, and Z. I don't know how I feel about that, in part because I can't speak to that. What I do know is that this woman is allowed to say xenophobic things and get away with it, and nobody calls her out on it.
I'm calling her Ling Ling. because I'm really not trying to give her any credit, but that rabbit hole person.
By the way, Ling Ling is a racial slur towards Asians. You've allowed this woman to say that on your platform and you never corrected her, which to me, that makes you part of the problem, okay? Hence why a lot of people are criticizing. That is both xenophobic and it's a racial slur, okay? You know, they allow her to get away with anything. They allow her not to push anything back. So I did read Torre's Substack. And by the way, I would definitely recommend y'all sign up to it. And basically, Torre said that Jaguar Wright and the psychology of cults and conspiracy theories. She better at trolling than she ever was at singing. That's what Torre says. Now, I will say this. I don't want to down Jaguar Wright on her, you know, talent, but I will agree that she's probably gotten better at trolling people than she has in her talent, you know, my opinion. We really have to study Jaguar Wright phenomenon so that we can understand how one person has gotten so many others to believe fictional stories about the evil deeds of the most charismatic celebrities of our time. I mean, one of Jaguar Wright's big targets is Beyonce. So we've heard stories about Beyonce. I know I have. I invite you guys to read the Substack, but he kind of goes into that. I do wonder though, like when she attacks Beyonce, has she ever really met Beyonce? Like, what was her interaction with Beyonce, or was it through other parties? And that's the thing, is that we have to understand, like, we're not always going to get the accurate statements and stories from folks. But if somebody's coming swinging on another person, you know, that we live in an age of exposing it all. Even the people doing the exposing get exposed. So I do wonder, like, where is a lot of this coming from? And I don't know a Beyonce and I don't know a Jay-Z, but it does make me wonder a little bit about how are we double checking stories or checking or holding people accountable. Victims of crimes every day have to be held accountable to the things that they say. They have to testify. They have to say the things that they say in a public, you know, court. And yet we have people like her and others that will say different things and are not held to the same standard. This is not court, of course. This is social media, so everybody's allowed to share their story. But I thought it was interesting to have Torre at least call some of this out. He further says, yes, Jaguar is not getting her flowers as a very talented cult leader. She's a cult leader for the internet era, speaking to her followers through YouTube, testifying about celebrity sinners with so much passion and conviction that her fiction sounds credible. She feeds her followers with made up stories about huge celebrities abusing their power and doing horrific things to children and women. She seems courageous for speaking out against powerful stars, and she seems righteous for speaking up for the little people that these big celebrities step on for their own amusement. Now, side note, do I believe that people get stepped on? Oh, absolutely. Do I believe that things are done in the industry? Absolutely. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's just a belief that I have. That's just a belief that I have. But I don't create a story from that. Does that make sense? Like, I can't just say I witnessed X, Y, and Z if I didn't witness it, or tell somebody else's story if it's not your own story. It appears as though Jaguar is sounding an alarm about horrific, immoral, criminal behavior, but in reality, she's only pretending to do that. She once said that she had 3 victims ready to testify about things that Beyonce and Jay did to her. They have never come forward, and Jaguar has not helped them come forward because they do not exist outside of the stories of Jaguar. Where are these victims? Where are the 3 Epstein, you know, victims? Where are them? Where are they? Right. So again, circling back, this is a situation where the people that do the exposing are also getting exposed, right? Whether you believe them or not, I don't know what to believe in that story because there's just been so many stories. What I do know is what I've seen on her behavior online, and people have given her the mic for that. And if that's the case, if you support, hell, nothing wrong with that. Do you support whoever the hell you want to? If we're going to use her words as fact, just note that probably nothing that's going to support that. And that's dangerous. That's dangerous for anybody coming forward and sharing their story, right? It takes attention from actual victims. It takes attention from actual horrific crimes that have happened for somebody to come forward and say different things. They have never come forward, and Jaguar has not helped them come forward. Okay. In telling us that she has 3 victims, she seems like she's helping the oppressed. But these are fictional victims. The real point of the story is that Jaguar is here to save people. She once claimed that she had walked women out of freak-offs, as in she had grabbed women and escorted them out of Puffy's wild parties. That did not happen. But the important thing is that it posits Jaguar as a savior. Doesn't every story that she tells position her as a savior? Like, doesn't everything that she says, she's always the savior, and somebody's always working against her? Believe what you want to believe. I still don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth. And I'm allowed to my opinion, just like everybody else is allowed to theirs, right? It's so interesting that some people will call racism X, Y, Z, this and that and the other, but but by her own xenophobic words, but she could say a racial slur about people, right? What does she refer to me as? Ling Ling? There's nothing racial there about that? That's interesting. But hey, carry on. Do what you got to do. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Shout out to Torre. What do you guys think about what Torre said?